Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Start of the week than 7 days ago, where I got a whole bunch of same old. Here we go again. Even though it was a tie, crystal clear. The Jaguar starters much better than the Saints. I know the Saints held out some starters, but then again, so did in Jacksonville, right? No Diami Brown, no Travis Hunter, no Chuma Edoga, no Anton Harrison. There's four right there offensively. You were down three of your top corners, right? Travis Hunter didn't play on defense. No Tyson Campbell, no Buster Brown. Also, the MIAs continued for Eric Armstead and Mason Smith. So you make a case right there, five defensive players who did not play. But this was encouraging. It was. And, I want to start by singling out Liam Cohen. It was interesting the way that he coached a week ago. I think this is going to be a huge measuring stick for him because we talk about it so often. The world of coaching has changed. You can't treat players the way that you once did. Today's players will crumble. It's as if mentally they just can't handle the stress that comes with the job, and they will respond. Typically, they respond negatively, right? Whether it's college or pro. You just got to learn how to navigate your way through this, and the ability to be able to push buttons at the right time, offer up criticism as well as a reward for doing a really good job. You go back to what happened last week. That padded practice on Tuesday, those 40 calls that they made at the line of scrimmage was just baffling to so many. I mean, why would you do something like that? I would think as a professional, as a starter on the offense, that would have been very embarrassing. But that's exactly what he did. And then you went on and you saw what happened on Thursday. It was not a good scrimmage. Went back and forth all week talking about whether or not starters would play. Would they not play? I was one of those who always felt as though that should have been the case against the Saints. But two padded practices and a scrimmage on Thursday, I think a lot of people felt, you're not going to play them against the Saints. And we'll never know for sure, right? But I want to believe it was slightly, or maybe even more, a fluid situation where if it was and I even asked Liam Cohen about that. Actually, I asked Trevor Lawrence about that, that if it had been an incredible scrimmage, right? If the offense just did whatever it wanted to, would that have resulted in perhaps not playing or at least, maybe just one series for the offense like they did the week prior to that against the Pittsburgh Steelers? But the team responded. And you got to love that right now. No penalties. It was a clean game. No pre-snap movement. The focus was absolutely there. So that's a big win. It is for the team. And, they were doing basically whatever they wanted. Trevor Lawrence, 8 of 10, 76 yards. The touchdown to Parker Washington. I thought the offensive line was opening up holes. I thought the offensive line did a really good job in pass protection. Once again, Trevor, in his second consecutive preseason start, getting everyone involved offensively, including on third downs, going to Brenton Strange a couple of times. Glad they ran it for that third, first down in which they made. They went 3 of 3, the starters did, on third downs on yesterday afternoon. But I'm glad we saw a running play. I was like, you had the Diami Brown jet sweep. You had another jet sweep in this game by Brian Thomas. But, we did see this football team finally play tough guy football with that third first down that they were able to pick up. It was good to see. It was a good day for the offensive line. Okay, mistakes. Brian Thomas Jr. drops the ball. I feel like every night I come here, I talk about Brian Thomas Jr. dropping the ball. It has not been a good camp for Brian Thomas Jr. There has been incredible inconsistency for him. I still think he's going to be fine. I still think he's their best player. Liam Cohen last week talked about how you don't want to peak now, right? You want to peak when? In a few Sundays when you take on the Carolina Panthers. That is when you want the Jaguars to play their best football. Still, you have to take notice with this. Brian Thomas Jr. a drop. Then you're moving the ball. You're doing whatever you want. Again, very comfortable was Trevor Lawrence in the pocket. I don't think he tried to leave the pocket too soon. I think he felt like he was getting the protection that he needed. He was able to look through several progressions, right? Third and fourth opportunities, that Brenton Strange reception on third down. Go back and watch it. And, look at what Trevor's doing. Watch his head. He's looking at a target, a second target, a third target. I want to say Brenton Strange was like his fourth option. So, checking it down in a very crucial part of the game on third down really worked. Incredibly positive for Jacksonville. And then you get to something that can happen. You can't have the fumble. You just can't have the fumble. You're in a 9-play drive and you get stepped on. Cleveland to Lawrence. He tries to hand it to Tank, and it's a fumble. You cannot do that. This is another example of Trevor Lawrence trying to make a play, okay? He has to learn. Just take the sack. It's a botched play. Now it ends up becoming a big-time red zone turnover. And, you can go to the first scrimmage. Maybe Trevor's best practice of the year for those who were in attendance that night at the bank. But then he made the mistake with a red zone interception that frankly, again, you can't make that mistake. And he did. Then you go to Pittsburgh, right? And it's a really impressive drive. 12 plays, 41 yards, took 7 minutes, 19 seconds off the clock. But what affected that drive? Well, Anton Harrison, first snap, false start. Then you had the dual penalties on one play. Instead of going in for a touchdown, it does result in a Cam Little field goal. So you can really make the case. Trevor Lawrence, okay, 14 of 17, 119 yards and 1 touchdown so far in 3 preseason drives. If they clean this stuff up, Trevor Lawrence could have thrown for 3 touchdown passes in 3 drives. Or I should say the offense should have scored 3 touchdowns on 3 drives. Let that settle in. After the mass confusion and even coma that Jacksonville has been in year after year after year, Sunday at 1 o'clock, look at what this offense is doing. Okay? But you can't make these mistakes. Now, they're correctable. They're fixable. This is certainly something that you can learn from. But you would hope that this stuff is not going to happen. The penalties are one thing. Getting stepped on and then still trying to make a play, that cannot happen. And again, we really talked about that last year. Protecting the ball. Trevor's going to throw interceptions. Every good quarterback's going to throw interception. But fumbling the football is another part of this that to me is totally different. And that cannot happen. And that has to get cleaned up. So, that is really the biggest issue that I would get out of what did take place with this offense on, yesterday's game. Just take the sack. And hopefully he'll learn that. But, this is a kid who's made plays his entire life. He probably got away with that in high school. He probably got away with that at Clemson. he thinks he can get away with that type of stuff here in the NFL. You can't. You can't. And it cost him. So, but that's really the only blemish. Defensively, didn't even talk about it, man. 21 total yards. Matter of fact, they held him to 9 net yards. And they advanced their game. We saw some blitzes. We saw guys in the backfield. We saw tackles for loss. We saw 2 sacks, including Dewey. And anything but an exotic blitz. I mean, you could see it coming from the television screen. Snuck right up to the line of scrimmage and went and hammered the rookie quarterback. That was good. I thought the linebacker play was better. It was a good day. It was a very good day. So there's a lot to be happy about. And, you know, we'll get back out there tomorrow morning. They are practicing at the Miller Electric Center both on Tuesday and on Wednesday before heading off to Miami for a practice session. And, of course, the game coming up this weekend. All right, opening comments are brought to you by Shmunez Vision. It's a good thing I have 20/20 because I really enjoyed watching that game yesterday. Jaguars had everything moving for the most part. But that may not be the case for you. Your eyes may be bothering you. Ask yourself right now, how are your eyes compared to when you got up this morning? Where are they? Fatigue, you know, does it seem spotty? Does it irritable? It could be an allergy. It could be something as simple as that. Or, you know, you could need a prescription change. Make an appointment today at Shmunez Vision. Then you get all sorts of options, including laser eye surgery. Just think about that for a moment. 20/20 for the rest of your life. Never having to take out contacts. Never having to go look for your readers. If there is an issue, Dr. Neo Shmunez and his staff, they'll let you know. Hopefully that's not the case. You may have something cataract related. There could be another issue. Doesn't always mean that you do need surgery. But if if that is the case, Dr. Catherine Shmunez, Dr. John Hunt, right there, you were talking about 3 doctors with well more than 30 years worth of experience. So check them out. Go to Shmunez Vision. You can also go to Instagram, get all the testimonials from good folks who, as well, think an awful lot of Shmunez Vision. I think an awful lot of Ryan O'Halloran, the big Irishman. He's back in Duval after a stint in Buffalo, and he joins us next. Let's talk with the columnist about what the Jaguars did yesterday during a 17-17 tie.
Check in Tuesdays for Jeff Lageman and Check the Tape Tuesday.
We'll keep you up to date with the latest and NFL news.
Tuesdays during football season on Jaguars Today. Checked by Napa Auto Care on 1010XL.
Cigar smokers, mark your calendars. On August 22nd, 3 to 7, join us at Cigars International Superstore at the Town Center for an epic Oliva event. Meet Ralphie Solar from Oliva. Grab exclusive deals on Oliva boxes and sip drinks at our full bar. Relax in our indoor and outdoor lounges with TVs. Don't miss this smoking good time. This Friday, August 22nd, 3 to 7 p.m., Cigars International Superstore, Jacksonville at the Town Center.
Tired of high energy bills? Replace those inefficient windows and patio doors now. It's Renewal by Anderson's triple savings month. Get $300 off windows and $825 off patio doors. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. This offer expires August 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
If fishing is in your DNA, hop in the boat with Captain Kevin. It's the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show. Brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss and Royal Pest Services.
Thursday nights at 6.
On 1010XL AM.
As a contractor, finding reliable subcontractors is key to project success. Prosser here. Guys, that's where Lloyd's Heating and Air shines. Not just your mechanical HVAC experts, but your partner, understanding every facet of construction to keep your project on track. Lloyd's will spot issues early before they cause delays. If you're a contractor with a need for reliability, visit LloydsHeatingandAir.com. Lloyd's Heating and Air. keeping you comfortable in every season.
New and pre-owned firearms are always in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimbar, Smith & Wesson, Sig Sauer, and Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
This is Greg Huntington, a.k.a. The Mangler. I'm on the winning team at Waste Management. WM is the largest sustainability company in North America. If your business needs sustainable environmental services for waste removal and recycling collection, then you can count on the industry leader of WM to deliver results. Your services will be completed in a timely, safe, and eco-friendly manner. Go to WM.com/Duval. That's WM.com/Duval and get signed up today. If anyone can talk trash, it's the Mangler.
How do you know that your roof is ready for the next big storm? You don't. That's why you need to call me. I'm Ronnie, the owner of Brandon Roofing. We'll assess your roof and fix those issues before they become storm disasters. Visit BrandonRoofing.com today to schedule your free roofing quote.
License number CCC 1328006.
All right, Prosser here, and I've been telling you about Chad and Sandy. They make the promise. Let me show you some of the proof. This is Nicoletta and Daniel in Panther Creek. We don't recommend this, but we bought our new house before we sold our old one. Then worst case scenario happened. Our old home failed to sell in a year with another realtor. Finally, we got smart. We hired Chad and Sandy, and they sold it in 10 days above asking price. These are the results you're getting with Chad and Sandy at chadandsandy.com. Area homes are selling, but you got to have the right people on your side. Maybe you want max price. Doesn't matter if you're buying or selling. Maybe you just want to sell right now. Well, fast, easy, and stress-free, that's what Chad and Sandy bring to you. They have this guarantee. They guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. They're the local real estate experts you can trust for all of your real estate needs. Go to chadandsandy.com today. That's chadandsandy.com, or call that help hotline, 904-414-6200.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
He is back. Ryan O'Halloran, columnist, Florida Times-Union. Had an opportunity to welcome Ryan back and talk with him quite a bit since he's been back in Duval, but let's do that now based on our listeners as well. A warm welcome to you, Ryan O'Halloran.
Rick, good to join you. Good to be back in town. And one of the things we talked about last week was how bad this team looked in practice, but they obviously turned it around yesterday a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's a, for Jaguar fans, it was, debatable as to how Liam Cohen handled that, particularly on Tuesday when he ran the 40 plays and blew the whistle right after it was snapped. Then the scrimmage that didn't go as advertised. But right now, I think you can absolutely make the case, Ryan, that yesterday, this offense, this defense, the starters, they responded the way the coach wanted them to.
Yeah, I think they did, and I think Liam said it after the game. This is what their one should be doing against another team's twos, in particular a very bad team's twos. And
right.
Get your work in on offense. It should have been at least 10 points, if not for the turnover. They're efficient on third down. On defense, they got off the field, put some pressure on the quarterback. So I think from a tune-up standpoint, it was a win-win.
Yeah, and that would be the downside, though, is the fact that it was Pittsburgh's backups. It was basically the two. Some starters played for New Orleans, but certainly not their entire starting 11. But you can only do what the opponent, allows you to do, and it was a complete turnaround. So that is a positive. Your thoughts on Trevor and this offense?
Well, it's going to be fascinating to see how Liam Cohen sort of tailors his scheme on a week-to-week basis to include Brian Thomas, Travis Hunter, Travis Etienne, probably Tank Bigsby, some of these other rookie running backs. And I think what's going to help Trevor Lawrence is this guy knows how to drop a run game. And Tampa Bay turned it around overnight in the run game last year. And what you saw yesterday is a pretty good screen game, and that's going to take pressure off Trevor Lawrence. I liked how Trevor worked the middle of the field. That Thomas play should have been a catch on that first drive. So it's, Lawrence has run out of excuses. how much of the last 4 years has been his fault? Who knows? But a lot of turnover, a lot of, no continuity. Now he's working with a new coach who is an innovative play caller. He showed last year with Tampa. So, this should be an exciting lead up to the season for Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah. The one glaring difference between what Liam Cohen was able to do a year ago in Tampa and what he's working with now would be the offensive line. And, now it looks like attrition may lead us to what the starting five is going to be. I really wanted competition there because it looks like there's 6 spots for that starting five. But, it was a better effort. But what do you make right now, including with the injuries, with this Jaguars offensive line?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a week-to-week deal early on in the season for 2 reasons. One is the competition, and 2, it's the injuries. They probably – we're going to lean on Anton Harrison now. He's banged up. I do like the fact that they're leaving Hainsey at center. Okay, let him get every possible rep with the quarterback. Ezra Cleveland, by all accounts, has answered the bell at left guard. Walker Little, is he your week 1 left tackle? He may be by default right now. Let's see how he answers the challenge from what happened in the scrimmage last week. So it's I think offensive line with definitely at right and left tackle. I think it's still a very fluid situation, and we're not going to learn a lot this week. They'll need to really get in that meeting room after the final cut and say, okay, which 5 are going to practice on Labor Day together?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes a tremendous amount of sense. Jacksonville and New Orleans, a 17-17 tie. Yesterday, Ryan O'Halloran, our guest, columnist with the Florida Times-Union. All right, you wrote a column about Tank, and, you and I were talking about this on the practice field the other day at the Miller Electric Center. Is Tank Bigsby the prototypical Liam Cohen type of running back? Liam Cohen's 2 backs last year caught nearly 100 balls for 800 yards.
On paper, no. And the comeback to that would be, maybe Tank Bigsby wasn't given the opportunity to catch those passes. Yeah, but he also has had a lot of drops. They threw him that screen pass on the opening drive yesterday. Once he gets the football in his hands and hangs on to it, he can do some damage. And, he is a north-south runner. I like the fact on that screen he sort of moved laterally, put his foot in the ground, made Isaac Yiadom, pick up his jockstrap at the 20-yard line or so. So, everybody says, well, you got to have a lot of backs because of attrition. Well, Liam Cohen went with 2 guys last year, Irving and White, and they had a top 5 rushing game. So, if you feel like ETN is going to be, productive and you like the 2 rookies, I would listen. If I'm the Jaguars, I would listen to a lot of calls on a lot of players. And last night was an example. Luke Fortner was not in their plans. And so they got something for him, and with term left on Saunders' deal. So I think Bigsby would have a lot of value because teams are getting decimated at running back around the league.
Yeah, and, it's very intriguing. I mean, James Gladstone, getting a guy who's going to be part of that rotation, at least that's what you would believe for a guy that they were going to cut, is a really good move by the brand new general manager. But, these kids look so good. They really do, but they're still kids. Tootin and Allen Jr., I mean, there's going to be growing pains there. But it feels like this could be something that Jacksonville does, whether it's Tank or ETN. One of them could be moved, if not now, certainly before the trade deadline.
Yeah, and I think Travis would be more the trade deadline, $6 million salary. There just aren't a lot of teams with that much cap space right now, much less want to use it on a running back. So if, let's say, they keep Bigsby, and him and the 2 rookies really are productive, maybe a contender down the stretch says, hey, for $2.5 million, let's get us 3 months of or 2 months of Travis Etienne on an expiring deal. If it doesn't work out, you don't have to pay him next year. So, and then Bigsby obviously has 2 years left on his deal, including this season. So, I think last night showed that with Fortner that there should be a lot of guys on this roster who weren't acquired by the current administration, who should be looking at their phone over the next 10 days.
Yeah, it feels that way. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're not going to be afraid. And what you've learned from Gladstone is probably learned from other GMs. If you're going to cut a guy, you might as well call around for him first. see if you can get a 6th or a 7th for him.
Mm-hmm. And, of course, they made the move and did pick up Colin Saunders, a 29-year-old who was playing for the Saints 1 day ago. Now one of the newest member here in Duval. All right, let's wrap with this. What do you believe is going on with Arik Armstead?
Well, they're obviously showing him a lot of respect. And I think it was Liam Cohen said last week is they want to see Mason Smith because he doesn't have a lot of experience. To me, that intimated that if Arik Armstead, you see him on week 1, but at some point he has to put on shoulder pads and start getting tuned up because those first couple of days in pads, you don't want that to be Wednesday and Thursday of Carolina week. So they are being cautious, but I thought last night's trade for Saunders was a little bit of a tell there. The same was signing Austin Johnson a couple weeks ago, who I covered with the Bills last year. He's a good player. If they have Armstead and Smith ready to go, if they do something this week, good for them. But how much can you rely on them snap count-wise for the opener for the second, third week? So I think this was a depth move last night, but also a sign of, hey, Smith and Armstead may be ready for week 1, but they're going to be definitely on a pitch count.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would absolutely agree with that. No doubt about it. All right, there he is, Ryan O'Halloran, columnist with the Florida Times Union, and it's good to have Ryan back in town. I'll see you tomorrow morning out at the Miller Electric Center.
You got it, Rick. Thanks, Al.
There he goes, Ryan O'Halloran. Good stuff. And, I mean, what a genius move here by James Gladstone. And I agree with Ryan. I mean, this could be a situation where, Saunders gives them quite a few snaps in the first month of the season, especially if Arik Armstead is not ready, especially if Mason Smith is not ready. Now, last week was encouraging for those two. Smith was pulled off the pup. Arik Armstead, at least put a helmet on and stretched last week. I mean, that's all you can ask for right now when it comes to Arik Armstead. But what you provided here was a little bit of depth. I thought Devon Hamilton looked okay yesterday, but, he lost his feet on one particular play. That has been something that has been really a problem for him over the years, is his footing. Tyler Lacey, I talked with Jordan Jefferson last week. You look at Tyler Lacey and Jordan Jefferson, there's a real opportunity there for one of those two to grab a lot of snaps and, really enhance their career. What does this say about going out? And they've made 2 moves now. They brought in Johnson as well. I don't know if he figures in prominently. Austin Johnson, very similar type of deal, I would think, that with what they got today with Colin Saunders. Okay, a couple of guys who do have experience in this league. And again, you may only ask to get something from them until Armstead and Smith are ready to go. So, yeah, right now that offensive line and that defensive line, the interior part of the defensive line, just looks to be fluid. The pass rush, obviously, very good yesterday coming off the edge. And, we did see from Anthony Campanile a little bit more than what we saw against Pittsburgh. And that included a few blitzes during the game. All right, tonight's show brought to you by the good folks over at Miller Electric. And the Miller Electric Company, they are hiring right now. They're a trusted name in the industry. They've been in Duval for more than 96 years. No matter where you go throughout Jacksonville, there's construction. There's more building, all right? More and more people are moving here. They want to live in Jacksonville. And Miller Electric, they have their fingerprints all over everything that is happening as far as what is being built. They believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, an unbeatable culture where people actually care about one another. So, whether you are an experienced electrician and you're looking for something bigger and better, or you're looking to get in the field, just go to Miller Careers, millercareers.com, and you will get all your information. We'll be back out there tomorrow morning as well at the Miller Electric Center for the Jaguars practice on a Tuesday. Okay, we got much more to do. Thank you to Ryan O'Halloran. I do want to play a couple of clips from Liam Cohen after the game yesterday. Some things that did not go right a week ago that did turn around and was much better. I think it is absolutely worthy to hear that from the coach. But I want to get you involved with the program as well. I do. I sense a much better Monday than a week ago. But we'd like to hear from you. The best way to do so, 641-1010 is the text line. That's brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Also, let's welcome those watching us tonight on YouTube. Just go to 1010XL into the Nights.
I'm Chris Campione. Veterans have given so much in the service of our country, but when it comes to legal challenges, you shouldn't have to fight alone. At Campione Law, we're here to help veterans like you get the support and compensation you deserve. Whether it's a workplace injury, a personal injury claim, or navigating a veteran's disability claim, we'll stand by your side every step of the way. Your service to our country matters. Let us serve you with the dedication and respect you deserve. Call Campione Law for a free consultation today. Campione Law, fighting for veterans, fighting for justice. Visit CampioneLaw.com.
Shut up, Campione Law.
Frank Frangie here. Experience professional grade at Nimnick Buick GMC, home of the largest inventory of GMC Sierras in Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. This month, save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierra 1500s or enjoy rates as low as 0% APR financing. Yes, 0%. You can't find deals like this anywhere else in Jacksonville. So shop 24/7 online at NimnickBuickGMC.com or at the showroom on Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
Hi, I'm John Haney from Clearwater Gutters and Drainage. After heavy rains, the problems are obvious. Mulch blown out of your beds, water standing around your foundation, and that fancy new crater back behind your bushes. Let Clearwater Seamless Gutters help you solve the problem spots.
Clearwater Seamless Gutters. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at gutters. And drainage, too.
Find out more at clearwaterjacks.com.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it worse. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
Let's get the work done.
Training camp is here.
Up, quick feet, quick feet, quick feet.
1010XL's training camp coverage is backed by Roland Reach Plumbing and Green Acres Sporting Goods.
Go, here we go. Let's go. It's live now. Let's go.
UB40, the Relentless Tour 2025. This Saturday night, St. Augustine Amphitheater, with special guest, The Fix. Get tickets now at AXS.com.
Brian Wall here. Would you take your paycheck, go to the bank, cash it, and then simply throw it up in the air? I didn't think so. But in a way, over the years, that is exactly what you're doing if you have old or builder-grade windows in your home. Even if you have a brand new home, those windows are not the best windows you can have to save on your energy bills. Window World has sold millions of replacement windows to homeowners like you, and Window World's customer satisfaction is the highest in the business. Please check Window World out yourself and save on your new windows and on your energy bills. Compare with other companies and you'll see Window World is simply the best for less. It's up to you. You can call Window World and get a free estimate, get the best guarantee in the window replacement business, save money on your new windows, and save more on your energy bills. Call Window World today at 904-443-7001 or go online to windowworldneflorida.com. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
17-17, preseason game number 2. Now they work tomorrow and Wednesday. Then hop on a flight to Miami, get ready to practice with the Dolphins, and, of course, play them coming up Saturday at 4 o'clock. A healthy team, reportedly, after yesterday's preseason game number 2. We saw Daniel Thomas limp off the field. The starting gunners yesterday, punt gunners, you look at Ray Lane. He's made plays now in consecutive weeks. And Antonio Johnson. Still trying to figure out what's going on with the safety position, the number 2 safety. That is something where, it still appears to be a 3-man battle with Savage and Johnson and obviously Dewey, who started yesterday. Let me check this again just to see, because they do rotate. I believe it was Dewey who was the starter. Yes, Wingard and Murray, and then obviously Jordan Lewis and Jarian Jones. So, that's something else that we witnessed early before they went to their nickel. I asked Jordan Lewis about starting as a corner, then sliding inside when they go to that style of defense, and he said he would do whatever the coaching staff wants him to do. Well, yesterday you had 3 of your top corners out, right, with Tyson Campbell, Buster Brown, and Travis Hunter. If you've been away and just not aware, Travis Hunter, an upper body, it's a precaution, but he did not go yesterday. So, among others who did not play, certainly that is the case there for Hunter. Brown didn't go as a wide receiver, and Harrison and Edoga did not play. Wyatt Milam didn't play. Maybe we'll get something on that tomorrow when we do hear from Liam Cohen. But surprised he didn't play and unless something happened. So I just don't have an answer for you there. But, health-wise, outside of the guys who weren't able to go, and how many of those guys, if that was opening day, would have been able to go? It feels like to me that the two that really stick out that cannot play right now are Buster Brown and Cole Van Lanen. I think are candidates for the IR, particularly Van Lanen. If they can get Buster ready, I don't know. But they don't have to tell us anything, right? That won't be until the week of the game, that first injury report coming out on Wednesday before the home opener with Carolina. I know the defensive tackles is a little bit of a, just continuously wonder, particularly with Eric Armstead. My guess is Mason Smith will be ready for opening day. I would really expect them to, heighten his play this week, both in practice and, depending on what they're going to do against the Dolphins. That would be a guy that I would look at and say, yeah, give him some quality snaps against Miami. Got to get in what we call football game shape. All right, let's go to the head coach. Let's go to Liam Cohen. Had a lot to say after the 17-17 tie. I do want to get to a couple of key aspects that are really offensively. Let's begin on how he felt with the performance of his quarterback, Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I thought this game was another step in the right direction where you saw him clicking through progressions again and getting to his, third and fourth reads a few times. I thought we protected him really well up front, which allows a quarterback to do those things. And also when you run the ball effectively, it also takes some pressure off the quarterback. So I was pleased with his outing tonight. Obviously, the one fumble is a tough one because you just got to eat that. It's a great learning moment for him, especially in the red area where you already have points. So when you have 2 turnovers in the red zone, when you already have points, those are tough ones when you end up tying a game.
There's no question about that, and it was a good day for Trevor Lawrence. We already highlighted the one major mistake. He's just got to take the sack. But it's going to be very intriguing to see how this offense pass protects for Trevor Lawrence. I think the rookie backs are better in pass protection than Etienne and Bigsby. Do you trust them to play this early in obvious pass protect situations? In my mind, when Tank is out there, all you're doing is running. Okay, we saw the exception to the rule yesterday on a screen, Dylan, which might have been the shortest screen pass in the history of the NFL. I swear he threw the ball 3 yards to Tank Bigsby. But Bigsby, again, showed what he can do when he gets the ball in his hand.
He did it a lot in college, and he hasn't been able to show it here in Jacksonville since he turned pro. I feel like, that's the next step for Tank if he wants to be, that all-purpose back, because, LaQuinton Allen feels like the pass protector and the guy that's going to catch the ball in the backfield. Tootin, we don't know yet as much. I know you see it at practice every day, but, the fans haven't really seen much of it. Tank, that's the biggest question for Tank. Can he catch the ball to the backfield? Because ETN can definitely do that.
First, really, ETN has been the focused back. He has been the man who has received the bulk of the touches with the first team. In practice, that was the case on last Saturday against Pittsburgh during that opening game, 12-play drive. That was the case for the most part during the scrimmage, right? And Tank did score in that scrimmage. He came in, but, it feels like we're seeing ETN get more of an opportunity. That was not the case yesterday. It was Bigsby. Bigsby got the start. And, a couple of runs, got around 3 yards. And, obviously his best play was a screen there, but it was ETN coming in on third down. It was ETN getting the second drive. And, we've seen now in 2 games where there have been 3 possessions by the starting offense. A bunch of different stuff, including the screen game that has been talked about so much. But it's not the same old screen game. Same old that was here with Press Taylor and was here with Doug Peterson, where it was basically the same type of screen every single time. And it was one based on desperation, where there's nowhere else to go with the football. You've seen design screens. That play yesterday was a design screen to Tank Bigsby. The one we saw last week against Pittsburgh was a design screen to Travis Etienne. This is his offense. We've seen more reverses and wide receivers running the football. This is his offense. So I think, that is an encouraging part about all of this. It was a good week for Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence had a really good camp. I mean, he has. He's made some mistakes that have been magnified, but he has really performed, and he looked comfortable in the pocket. But it's going to be interesting to see how they handle things in pass protect. Liam Cohen knows he can't get by with just 5 offensive linemen, right? And Brenton Strange is a very good blocking tight end. But you're going to see double tights. And you're going to see backs in. And right now, again, in my opinion, defensive coordinator is going to look at Tank Bigsby and say, all right, when he's in, you can, keep an eye on him, but he's not a threat. Where that changes when it's ETN in the backfield, and that certainly is going to change when you have Tootin in the backfield. Boy, he looks good. I mean, he's just one of those guys that maybe they're forced to make a move here with ETN or Tank because they believe Tootin can be that good, even though he's just a rookie. We'll see. But, hey, no doubt, running backs. It has been, in my opinion, far and away the best position group during training camp. And frankly, I don't even think it's the case. You can maybe say rush ends, because Walker and Allen are spectacular, and we're getting a little something. You're seeing a little something out of Smoot and who am I thinking of here? Emmanuel Ogba. Yeah, thank you. You're getting something. But to me, it's been running backs far and away. All right, let's continue on. We've got much more to do, and certainly that involves you. 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures, as well on YouTube tonight, 1010XL into the nights.
At Keon Atlantic, the savings are back in session. You'll just need to follow these simple rules to make the most of your back to school. Step 1, switch out your car for an upgrade. Step 2, drive a new Kia starting at $20K. Step 3, make no payments for a whole 90 days. Hurry in to start back to school in a big way. Online at KeonAtlantic.com. Keon Atlantic, your coastal Kia connection. For complete details, call 904-250-0587.
Guys, want a golf course fairway quality lawn?
TopDressing.com just landed in Jacksonville with the golf course secret for St. Augustine grass homeowners. A patented process that aerates and turns your turf into a fairway stunner. Serious golf course technology, but in your yard. Less water, tighter cuts, total neighborhood domination. No one else scores a perfect 10 lawn. Hit TopDressing.com now. You will own the block. Top dress your yard like the pros with TopDressing.com.
Summer's winding down, and we know you want to enjoy what's left of it. But before you celebrate this Labor Day weekend, plan ahead and know all your options. If you drink, don't get behind the wheel. Instead, designate a sober driver or catch a ride service. And if you are the designated sober driver, commit to staying sober. Celebrate responsibly and remember to drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by the Florida Department of Transportation.
Need electric vehicle repair? Guardian Collision is expert certified for any electric vehicle. Trust the home team for auto body repair on your EV. Guardian Collision. They guard what moves you at GuardianCollision.com.
Hey Jacksonville, it's Dan Hicken with a game changer. I've tested the field, and Checkmate Coatings is my new go-to for durable, jaw-dropping floor coatings. Better play, better results. I'm Brendan from Checkmate Coatings. Our precision coatings make your floors the MVP of any space. Slam dunk your floors at CheckmateCoatings.com. Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Rick Ballou for Cohen Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Cohen Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Cohen Dental team still has the same great dentist and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Cohen Dental with light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Cohen Dental, 2 locations in Jacksonville.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
Been in a car crash? I'm local attorney Rick Alexander, and I've made it our mission at the Alexander Law Practice to listen to you so I can fight for the best possible result for you. I've been practicing over 30 years, and our team focuses on guiding you through the entire process. And because fees and reimbursement costs come out at the end of the case, I will never ask you to come out of pocket. For a free review, call 904-400-6600 or log on to alexanderlawpractice.com, Jacksonville.
David here with Royal Pest Services. It's back. Our summer Centricon Termite Special. New installs begin as low as $249. And if you have existing Centricon, but your renewal is through the roof, we can transfer you to Royal at no cost. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to schedule a free estimate.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
You need cooling, baby, I'm not fooling.
Becoming Led Zeppelin. Really sensational. I think it's Netflix. But I caught it last week. It really just focuses on becoming Led Zeppelin and really their first 2 albums. But if you haven't seen it, it is absolutely a documentary that you should watch. After the show on Friday night, I drove to Tampa with the GF, picked up my dad who passed recently and drove back his car on Saturday morning. And it was crazy. Went to go start the car, wouldn't start. So jumped it and, brought it today over to my good buddies at John's Auto out in Arlington, who also have my truck, okay, which needs a new transmission. But again, the good folks at John's Auto will take care of that. But anyway, it's Saturday, and we're going to go to the beach. And it was, we're kind of tired after the drive. Wasn't a great day. So I'm reading a book. I'm reading the latest Prey series by John Sanford. I think he's got 34, 35 that are out. This one includes Virgil Flowers, right? Lucas Davenport and Virgil Flowers. I mean, what more can you ask for than those two from Minneapolis solving crimes? And she passes out, and I got my hand on the remote. Dylan, I'm like, do it. Press it. Order the fight. Get the fight. See what's going to happen here with, DGB and Shemaev. And I didn't order it. And I guess I made the brilliant decision. It was one of the boringest fights that we have seen, for a belt. I'm a big fan of Shemaev. He came here a couple of years ago when Dana White brought the UFC. I think that was the second time, maybe the third, that they were here. But boring fight. I'll watch it on YouTube once it comes out. How about you? You push the button?
For the UFC?
Yeah.
The pay-per-view. So I watched the big fights, like the guys that I know, like the top dogs.
Mm-hmm.
My brother, I was hanging out with him, little brother, Saturday night, and he was talking about it. And then now that you say it, I didn't even know. I forgot that it even happened. So If it were a good fight, I would have seen some clips somewhere.
Yeah, most of it was spent on the mat. And it did go the 5 rounds, but it was a unanimous decision with Shemaev. But I usually am a sucker for that. I was not on Saturday, so actually did do something right. Hey, what the hell's going on right now in Nashville? Did you see the story that popped up today? You got to be kidding me. Cam Ward and Jeffrey Simmons getting into a scuffle.
Another quarterback scuffle? Oh, my God.
I mean, you don't touch your quarterback. Now, this is all the fault of Ward. Apparently, he threw a touchdown pass today to Calvin Ridley. It was at the very end of practice, and he went to celebrate. He gave Jeffrey Simmons a shove and then went through his trademark Zombieland celebration. And Simmons reacted with a two-hand push, and all of a sudden, they had to be separated. But you cannot go after your quarterback. Insane story today. This one in Tennessee. So anyway, I thought that was really interesting. Joe Flacco, if you're looking at quarterbacks, he's going to be the starter in Cleveland. It's not going to be Shedeur Sanders. It's not going to be Dylan Gabriel. It is going to be Joe Flacco. That announcement came out today. And as well, I guess, better news for Matt Stafford. At the age of 37, a little bit of work in as far as his back, but, certainly moving forward. So I guess that's kind of the latest as far as QBs are concerned around the NFL. Boy, they have a quarterback issue right now in New Orleans. Now, you think you got it bad here. And again, I think it's been a really good camp for Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, I like what Ryan O'Halloran said earlier when he joined us, something that I absolutely, totally agree with. Excuses are up for Trevor, right? I mean, he's looked comfortable. He's still learning this offense. He's done some really good things. He's had a nice camp. But we're at the point now where enough is enough is enough. This is year 5. And you hope it's tremendous growth for him and that he stays healthy. And then, the years that follow, he becomes prominent. If you're Trevor Lawrence, either apologist or if you're just a Trevor Lawrence fan, realistically, what do you want this year? I'll tell you what I believe you should want, okay? That is consistency. That is not making foolish plays like he did when he got stepped on with Ezra Cleveland, like he did during that scrimmage a few Friday nights ago when he threw a red zone interception. That can't happen. He cannot make those type of mistakes. Now, granted, I pulled out just a few. He's been really good. But you still can't do that in those typical, in those type of situations. So what you want right now with Trevor Lawrence is you just want him to be consistent. And you hope that's aided by a football team that can run. You hope that's aided by a football team that can pass protect. He's got phenomenal weaponry. I mean, no one's going to argue with that point, right? He's got guys. that can score, but you don't want to see him make the mistakes. And I think what you would really hope for this year is that Trevor Lawrence moves into a category where he is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. It's unrealistic to say he's going to move all the way up to top 5, but top 10. I saw those tiers that came out a week ago and where Trevor was. I mean, everyone has an opinion on that. It's incredibly subjective about ranking quarterbacks. But that should be the realistic goal. Consistency, and then Trevor Lawrence moving into a top 10 quarterback in 2025. And then the sky's the limit if it works for him. And you keep, learning this offense and you advance this offense with Liam Cohen as your play caller. And we could be here in a year, talk about how he's in the top 10, and then all of a sudden he's heading towards the top 5. So that's what I believe you should want. Okay, let's get to our second hour. Let's do this. Let's get you absolutely involved. Let me take your questions. I know you got a lot after watching the game yesterday. A couple of ways to join us on YouTube if you're watching. Go to 1010XL into the night if you're not watching and you want to ask a question there. Also, our text line, 641-1010. Brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
Every summer, there's one Saturday night you've got to be in Daytona.
Hey, boys, watch this.
The NASCAR Coke Zero Sugar 400. Brought to you by the Plumbers and Pipefitters Local Union 234. From Jacksonville's NASCAR station. 1010XL.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Hey, school's in session, and here's today's lesson. We have hundreds of certified vehicles to choose from, starting as low as $89.99. Plus, they come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile peace of mind warranty and free oil changes. That means you and your soon-to-be drivers will be protected. Plus, every purchase allows us to fund teachers' projects for the entire school year. Your next assignment, get to Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine, Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville, or Beaver Mitsubishi in St. Augustine. We're here to wow you and our teachers.
Looking to elevate your game night experience? Look no further than Best Bet. We're not just a card room, we're your destination for excitement, fun, and big wins. Whether you're a seasoned player or new to the game, we have something for everyone. Join us at Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, or St. Augustine for thrilling tournaments, exciting promotions, and a vibrant atmosphere that will take your game night to the next level. Elevate your game night at Best Bet. Visit bestbetjacks.com to learn more. That's bestbetjacks.com.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On August 18, 2021, Shohei Ohtani becomes the fastest player in Angels history to reach 40 home runs in a season, and also pitched 8 innings in a 3-1 win against Detroit.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. As temperatures warm up around us, ants come out in droves. And when they move into your home or business, it's unnerving. Terminix knows that ants add up fast, but Terminix subtracts them faster because living with ants isn't any fun. When ants show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with an ant problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com.
I'm Frank Franzi. I told you my daughter Amber has tried Awaken 180. Man, has it worked. You ready for this? After 3 weeks and change, she's lost 22.5 pounds. You should give it a try. 844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
You've got a lot on your plate. The last thing you need is car trouble. At Maxie's Mechanics, we help you keep your cars, trucks, and SUVs running safely. Visit MaxieAutoRepair.com today for honest service, reliable repairs, and peace of mind for you and your family.
Have you ever dreamed of owning a handcrafted cabin tucked into a 1,000-acre regenerative farm? Well, now you can. Frank Frangie here for the farm at Okefenokee. It's just an hour north of Jacksonville and Folkestone. At the farm, it's not just about living off-grid. It's about reconnecting with nature, with food, and with community. Exploring hiking trails, kayak through Blackwater creeks, or just watch the sunset over your olive trees. It's a way of life. You can learn more. Go to Okie Farm. That's OKEfarm.com for your new way of life.
The dog days of summer are here, and Superior Fence and Rail is throwing you a bone. Right now, get 5% off any fence project 100 linear feet or more through August 22nd. Whether you're looking for added privacy or to keep your pets and family safe, now is the perfect time to invest. Contact Superior Fence and Rail today for your free estimate. Cannot be combined with other offers. New contracts only.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, let's begin the 7 o'clock hour. Fired up for tomorrow. Jaguars after it early. And, hey, we're going to get an opportunity tomorrow to hear from the newest member of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I actually asked if I could. I had Chuma Edoga scheduled for tomorrow, but, you know, the Jaguars do not make injured players available. You know, I was going to talk with Tyson Campbell last week, and anyway, that is the case. So I'm going to talk with the kicker. I'm going to talk with Cam Little tomorrow. It's becoming just a phenomenal weapon. Again, I think you have the best kicker punter combination right now in pro football, and you know, they threw that pick late. And they were giving a young quarterback an opportunity. A lot of people, I've gotten some feedback on that. Why they throw the ball, I'll tell you why they threw the ball. It was preseason. That's why they threw the ball. Yeah, I get it. You would like to have seen Little hit a game winner, even though it was of the preseason variety. Still, the experience would have been there. So after practice tomorrow, Colin Saunders, okay, is going to meet with us. We're also going to hear from Liam Cohen tomorrow and Josh Hines-Allen. So it should be a very busy Tuesday over at the Miller Electric Center. The whole Saunders situation is really intriguing because it can go so many different ways. First of all, what a genius move by James Gladstone. Okay? Luke Fortner's not making this team. And Luke's a good kid. Wish him the best. I hope he can continue his career in New Orleans, be a part of the 53, and, you know, collect a check and hopefully get closer to an NFL pension, whatever. I like him. But he was not part of the plan here. Let's face it. And Jonah Monheim has a lot to do with that. So you look at these late-round picks, like Allen Jr., like Monheim, like Ray Lane. I mean, it's pretty intriguing. I don't want to overdo it. They haven't even played an NFL game yet, but let's get right to it. Monheim's the reason why this trade took place. It wasn't going to work anymore for Fortner, and Monheim could be your future center. He right now will obviously be your backup center. But when you get Saunders, who just turned 29, this guy's played 68 games, 32 starts, 6 playoff games, a couple of Super Bowls in Kansas City. James Gladstone just got a guy that can be one of the following, right? For starters, he could be a starter. I doubt it. But he could. He could move in if Armstead's not ready and Mason Smith's not ready. He could be the guy. I think he plays the same position as Hamilton, more of the nose tackle variety, not necessarily a defensive tackle. He could be a guy that's a stopgap. He could be a guy that's patchwork. All right. Can he give Jacksonville valuable September reps until Armstead and Smith are ready for game day action? We don't know that. Again, I would believe that Mason Smith is ahead of Eric Armstead, but I do not know that. It's a big week for both. Really hope that Mason Smith can practice all week, go against Miami, and play in the game. The other part of this is, has it been underwhelming for Lacey and Jefferson? Okay, 2 guys with a phenomenal opportunity, some former 4th-round picks. Are they just guys? Are they never going to take that step forward? And whether it's Johnson, who they picked up and they added When you look at Austin Johnson or Colin Saunders, are you going to be able to get any production from either one of these two? I just don't know. So it could really go either way here. And, we'll see what actually does transpire. Going to be pretty interesting. I definitely think that. All right, ton of folks on us on YouTube. Rainman CT, CRS 092, Libig Man, Mr. Know-It-All. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. People asking questions. So we do have an awful lot to get to. Also on the text line, some pretty good stuff that is coming in. I got this one that I love. I love corrective criticism. All sorts of criticism is fine, but I love, in-show corrective criticism. And it includes 4042, who says, Ballou, please stop comparing the Jags to Tampa. Tampa has a Hall of Fame wide receiver and a pretty good offensive line. Cleveland gets the Jags top 5 pick. Okay. Well, Tampa Bay has a phenomenal offensive line. Okay. Filled with first and second round draft picks. That is the glaring difference between that and Tampa. Okay. I'm not going to argue with you on, the wide receivers and certainly, Mike Evans is a Hall of Famer, but Mike Evans has been doing this now for 10 years, 11 years, and he's missed some time with injuries. And Godwin is a very talented wide receiver who's missed time with injuries. They have the bigger names. They have the pedigree, okay? But why do I believe the combination of Thomas Jr., Hunter, and Brown can be better than the wide receivers in Tampa Bay? Okay? Now, I have nothing to support that. Thomas had a phenomenal year. Diami Brown came on late in the playoffs. Travis Hunter's never taken a snap. So, we could look back at this and it could end up being a foolish statement. But based on what I've seen so far, I think it's going to be pretty impressive. But no, I'm always going to reflect back to Tampa. Okay? I mean, Tampa's, won 3 straight divisional titles in the NFC South, which is almost as dysfunctional as the AFC South. And they've done it with 9-8s, 10-7s? They've just barely gotten by with, some really good football players. And that includes on their defense as well. You have to do that. Liam Cohen made drastic changes last year in Tampa Bay. You have to look at what he did with that offense and compare that with what he's trying to do with this offense. The glaring difference is that offensive line. Is Liam Cohen and his staff good enough to still be effective despite the problems with the offensive line? 83-34, Ballou. Cohen had 3 backs to Tampa, third round, even had 300, third down back, even had 300 yards rushing, and I think we'll keep all 4. Yeah, he did. Third down back did well a year ago, over 300 yards rushing, and I was reading earlier today, had 9 receptions for over 100 yards. So we talk about how the top 2 backs had 98 receptions for 800 yards. You put in that third down back, okay, that's 9 more. You're talking about almost 110 receptions for over 900 yards out of the starting backfield in Tampa. And yes, I'm going to compare. It's what I got right now. I'd be foolish not to compare. Look at what he did there. I mean, he took a rushing unit that was last in 2023 and made him a top 4 rushing unit in 2024. And I just gave you the numbers with what the running backs did in his screen game. That stuff is phenomenal. 614 Ballou. I'm buying a Logan jersey. Okay. Logan Cook, I'm guessing, right? I mean, it's Hunter Long that I would imagine you would be talking about. Who phenomenal grab by Hunter Long. Hunter Long, excuse me. 69-55, it's a good thing that the Jaguars have a general manager that would do trades to help the team in the future. It really feels that way. And, you know, I set the waiver wire at like 1 and a hook. And the reason why you put the hook in is because you either want to play the over or the under. I almost think it's under now. I do. The defensive tackle position to me was absolutely one that I felt they would address when the 53-man roster is set. The other one I was looking at a little bit is the outside linebacker spot, right? Are they going to get comfortable enough with Ventrell Miller, who had a very good game, where, you know, your base defense could be Miller, Ogoa Khan, and Lloyd? That was not the case. It was Abdullah who got the start. Dennis Gardeck was held out. I was surprised by that because I thought he had a good week. But could they add an offense? You know, could they add an outside linebacker? Don't know. But I would think one, possibly two. Did they just take one of those spots away by what they did with this Gladstone trade, by being able to bring in Colin Saunders? We shall see. Still some safety concerns. I got you there. You know, it feels like the pass rush was doing it. It felt like the run support was doing it with the linebackers. And again, you had 3 corners out. You know, you didn't have Hunter in there. You didn't have Campbell in there. You didn't have Buster Brown in there. And you don't know if you can have Buster Brown when the season begins. You don't know. But it felt like if you were to really nitpick what's the big problem with the Jaguars, it felt like it's with the secondary when it comes to coverage. And, you know, hopefully in regular season and with your starters, you're getting a little bit more of a push from the interior defensive lineman. You got to be thrilled with what you saw with Walker and Hines Allen. That stump by Walker, I mean, that was impressive with him and Smoot. Then you had the blitz, and you had the, you know, that resulted in what? Intentional grounding. I mean, that stuff's phenomenal. And then you saw Miller on the come. You saw Devin Lloyd on the come with a tackle for loss. You saw Dewey with a very basic blitz just coming right off the edge that worked. So, you know, some good things there for the defense. All right. Let's take a break. We'll come back. Let's grab more from you. Getting a lot of good stuff that's rolling in. 641-1010 is the text line, and that is brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Also, those watching on YouTube, if you want to join them, you can. Just go to 1010XL into the night.
1010XL is committed to getting you closer to your favorite players. That's why we sent Jags beat reporter Hayes Carlyon to bring you back one-on-one interviews in the locker room, unsealed by renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
Ballou here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Here you can see.
When you're faced with damage in your home from water, fire, or mold, you need a team with the expertise to fix it right.
Rest-A-Pros!
A locally owned, nationally backed franchise that's here to help you when you need them. A team that does it right the first time.
Rest-A-Pros!
Remember, you don't have to use the insurance company's preferred contractors. Get it done right by a licensed professional you can trust. Call 904-201-9151 or go to RestaProsNEFlorida.com. That's RestaProsNEFlorida.com.
Rest-A-Pros!
Listening that fits your schedule perfectly.
Absolutely brilliant.
Go on demand.
Ad-free shows after the live show's end.
How about that? Channeled by
Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning. Search where you find podcasts.
Football season is here, so I've got to get organized. Lauren Brooks here. Closets by Design creates custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms or entertainment centers, wherever that clutter has taken over. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off with free installation. Yes, that's 40% off plus an additional 15% off this month only. Call 904-878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
Maxed out on credit cards, struggling with high interest debt? You could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. That's Loan Pronto. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is an A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call now and start the conversation. Go to loanpronto.com or call 999-1508. That's loanpronto.com.
Oh, no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
my debit card.
Their debit card.
Where'd I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound? That's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Jaguars football is officially back. Be there as number 2 overall draft pick Travis Hunter, quarterback Trevor Lawrence, and new head coach Liam Cohen take the field for the first time during the 2025 NFL regular season. Secure your seats for when the Jaguars take on the Panthers September 7th by going to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you at the bank.
Florida Heat hitting like a heavyweight? Time to call in the champ. KO Electric and HVAC. We knock out the heat and power up your comfort. Fast, reliable, and undefeated in home service. KOElectricJacks.com. KOElectricJacks.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Really embarrassing fight yesterday in New Orleans. 2 overfed gentlemen throwing hands. And it was just a brutal look. First of all, who fights during the preseason? It's not like there's a rivalry between the Jaguars and the Saints. What do men fight over? Women and money. Right? I mean, alcohol certainly can add an awful lot to that, but just the image of this is very disturbing. Stop fighting. Stupid. This guy in New Orleans, that is one of the greatest guts. He was depantsed as well during this fight, and that is one of the greatest guts I've ever seen. The shirt actually does a pretty good job for him protecting it, but once that shirt came up, that thing dropped to around his knees.
And when they slipped, too, that was hysterical toward the end of the fight.
Wonder if they were jailed. The video ended, and that was it. But it looks like 2 guys that absolutely were totally overserved. But it was a pretty bad look. I don't think there's anyone can debate that. Real Man CT, does anyone know the whereabouts of number 62, Foster? Well, there's another guy right there. If you get anything for him, you'd make a move. Okay, I think he's got zero shot of making this team. I don't even know if he's part of the future, if they'll bring him back and put him on the practice squad. We'll see. CRS092 Blue, what if they were showcasing Tank? Rick, do you think that is possible? You know, we talked with Ryan O'Halloran about this in our first hour. He wrote a column on this. Ryan is back in town as the columnist for the Florida Times-Union. And Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. Again, my vision on this is that when Tank is in, he's run only. Now, his best play came on a screen pass. A very, neatly designed screen pass where Trevor threw it about 3 or 4 yards. And you saw what did happen with Tank Bigsby. By definition of the Liam Cohen offense, and we talked about his backs a year ago in Tampa, by definition, Tank Bigsby is not his back, right? His backs would be Etienne, Tootin, and Allen Jr., guys who are strong in every category. And you look at the two rookies, particularly when it comes to pass protection. I mean, that's supposed to be their strength, along with catching the football. Both of them. I know Tootin's got a ton of fans. And, I felt like watching it yesterday. It just feels to me, like Tootin is the future. Here's where it gets cloudy. If you move Tank, Etienne's not coming back. So, you're looking at 2026 with those two running backs, right? Your 4th and your 7th rounders. Looking at Tootin and Allen Jr. As your top two. So do you move Tank, who's very affordable? Well, cost you $1.4 million this year. No, I think $1.75 million. During the final year. We'll see. Very interesting. But anyway, let's go to Liam Cohen because, he was asked about this after the game yesterday. What did you see from your running game?
Yeah, I was pleased with the way that we were coming off the ball up front. I thought without Chuma and Anton in there, you didn't feel a huge drop off up front. I know it wasn't their starting defense playing, but we did move the ball the way you would expect them to against anybody's second unit. But Tank and Etienne, I thought both had some really nice moments. So did Tootin and LeQuint. I thought all 4 of those guys actually had some really nice moments.
Fred Johnson was your starting right tackle yesterday in place of Anton Harrison, and as well Patrick McCarry, who, they spent a ton of money on, and it was thought of that he was going to be inserted immediately as your starting right guard, and he was. But some believe Chuma Edoga is at a better camp, and Edoga now out. I don't know, what exactly it was with him. With Anton Harrison, it appears to be, it's an undisclosed injury, but it appears to be lower body. Okay. Hopefully we'll get a positive report on those two coming up tomorrow. Backs are just not revered. The position, even though we've seen some guys get paid lately, including Cook, right? Got the huge deal. I guess Robinson's not going to play tonight. We got a special Monday Night Football preseason game tonight in D.C. It's Cincinnati at Washington. The Bengals favored by 3, total 43 and a hook. But I guess he's not playing tonight. He possibly could be moved. And if that's the case, could the Commanders be the team that's in the market if Bigsby or Etienne is available? I'm conflicted about this, but honestly, Etienne fits into this offense better than Bigsby. I believe that. Now, Bigsby is a talented guy as a runner, okay? And you look at that Etienne carry when he up the middle, man, he made 3 or 4 guys miss. Really, the only problem I've had with Etienne is you go back to that Pittsburgh game, his second carry, he missed the lane, okay? But he had only had 2 at-bats. He even had an opportunity to get lathered up. He came in the second series the other night and ran the ball effectively. He's still elusive. He still makes guys miss. Can't figure out, again, why Etienne seems to be the one that most of you are like, just move him. I don't want to move him. Not now. Again, if this team struggles, then why not move him before the trade deadline if someone goes down? But right now, 3 weeks away from the start of the year, in my opinion, Etienne is absolutely a back better set for the Liam Cohen offense. than Tank Bigsby. Ballou, that Trevor Lawrence, this is from the 53-51, that Trevor Lawrence fumble should be chalked up to preseason practice pains, but his track record of turning it over in the red zone really makes it hard to buy into the preseason mistakes. He cannot make those boneheaded mistakes this year and expect to keep his job. Well, you hope he doesn't make those boneheaded mistakes this year, but he's still going to keep his job. I mean, doesn't matter. I mean, you can write up worst case scenario, and Trevor Lawrence is going to keep his job. Okay. As a matter of fact, let's be honest about this. There's like 0% that he would lose his job. I mean, that mammoth contract extension not even effectively kicked in. It's simple. You got to fix him. Liam Cohen and this football team has to fix Trevor Lawrence. Again, I think it's been a very strong camp for Trevor. But you're right. He cannot make that mistake. Take the sack. It's a botched play. Fall down. And it's disturbing. It is. But that's what it comes down to. 81-43, Ballou, they played okay. To my untrained eye, at least, or was I looking at the wrong guy thinking it was him? Isn't he 64? Who you pretty sure I saw. Did Milan play? I thought, let me see. I thought that maybe I have to go back and watch it. I don't always rewatch preseason games the way that certainly I do when it comes to NFL games. Where the heck's my playbook here? Let's see. Here it is right here. The game book. Substitutions. No, I don't see him listed. It says did not play Campbell, Brown, Pancol, Travis Hunter, Ransaw, Buster, McLeod, Edoga, Gardeck, Van Lanen, Harrison, Armstead, and Mason Smith. So maybe he did get some reps, and I just missed it. I'll look for it when I go back and rewatch the tape. 43-76, Ballou, hope you had a good weekend. How many safeties do you see the team keeping? Could we see a similar trade happen either with Savage or do they move on from him? I've read everything about how Savage, there was some stuff printed either yesterday or today. Again, I read everything that's written by those who covered this team, that he should be the starting safety, that he's the most athletic of the Wingard Johnson combination. I would disagree with that. I think Johnson is incredibly athletic, and I think he's long. It was good to see Antonio Johnson as a gunner on the other side of Ray Lane. I think that's very telling. Noticeably absent as a gunner was who? Daniel Thomas. Last year's gunners, Thomas, Tim Jones. Daniel Thomas is not cost effective. I think Ray Lane is a better option. I think what you're looking at is Murray and probably Wingard as your starter. Ugh. I know Dewey's got a cult-like following, but they're going to rotate these guys. You got Savage and Johnson 4. Ray Lane is a special teams only guy. I don't think he's part of the defense in that plan this year. Caleb Ranshaw, they got to get healthy. I mean, when it's all said and done there, is he a candidate, for an IR? Are they going to keep 6 safeties? Are they going to keep 6 corners? Are they going to keep 5 safeties and 6 corners? Right? Are they going to keep 6 safety or vice versa? Is it going to be 6 and 6 or is it going to be 6 and 5 either way? Don't know. Right now, it kind of feels like you got to keep an extra corner because you got 3 of them that are not 100%. And I guess I shouldn't say that with Hunter. Hunter's going to be fine. But obviously Tyson Campbell right now and another candidate for the injured reserve, without any question at all, is Buster Brown. I think the days are numbered for Daniel Thomas. I do. 5th round pick back in 2020. He's an expensive special teams guy. And still really conflicted with the new kick rule. It just boggles my mind. I freaked out enough on that. But certainly, punt coverage is real big in this. And I think Ray Lane's going to win that job. So could you see a guy traded? Perhaps. But I think really Daniel Thomas, you already saw the trade of Fortner wasn't going to make the team. Just got asked about Javon Foster, who's not going to make the team. I don't think Daniel Thomas is going to make the team unless there is an IR move. And, I don't think, Chad Muma appears to be a numbers guy. Jack Kaiser made a play yesterday. Their backup linebackers, Miller and Kaiser, they do like. And, obviously they feel very good about Oloakon and Lloyd in this defensive scheme. That could be the end of the road for Chad Muma. We'll see. All right, we got much more to do. I'm going to take you up till 8 o'clock right here on this Monday night. And then how about tomorrow? Back at it. I think this is the end, and it's scary. It's disappointing. You got tomorrow, and then you got Wednesday. Then they fly to Miami, practice there, and play. And that's it. You'll get ready for, the regular season. You'll have a couple of weeks as far as preparation. You'll have the big cut. You'll hope to bring back as many of these players as you can and put them on the practice squad. And then, it'll be very interesting to see if, in fact, they bring in one or two players via the waiver wire. That's what's next after this game against Miami. I would think that starters no way are playing against Miami. Bubble guys are going to play. Guys bouncing back from injuries should play. I mean, Eric Armstead won't, but I want to see, Mason Smith out there. Be good to get Caleb Ransaw back. Put him out there. Be good to get Jalen McLeod back. Put him out there. See what these guys can do. The other option is leave them on the shelf and just IR them so they don't count against your 53-man roster. So, yeah, this is not checkers. This is chess. And, again, it's going to be intriguing here in the immediate future. But, yeah, sadly, that's it for camp. Just like that, it's gone. Then we get into regular season mode where you can watch them stretch and then, get an opportunity to interview them a few hours later. That's where we will be at the end of preseason and training camp. All right, much more to do. 641-1010 text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. You can also join us by going to YouTube, 1010XL Into the Night.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Hey, school's in session, and here's today's lesson. We have hundreds of certified vehicles to choose from, starting as low as $89.99. Plus, they come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile peace of mind warranty and free oil changes. That means you and your soon-to-be drivers will be protected. Plus, every purchase allows us to fund teachers' projects for the entire school year. Your next assignment, get to Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine, Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville, or Beaver Mitsubishi in St. Augustine. We're here to wow you and our teachers.
Denny Thompson here. Look, don't get left in the dark. We're all trying to reason with hurricane season, so at least be prepared. For top-of-the-line generators in Jacksonville, I turn to Tyson. Licensed pros at Tyson deliver reliable, whole-home standby generators and provide fast repair service. They even do custom installations for local businesses, so don't wait. Ensure seamless installation and peace of mind. Call Tyson now, 904-762-1000 for a free estimate on generator services. TysonInc.com.
At Performance Painting, we've spent decades protecting commercial properties with durable, long-lasting coatings. And we can bring the same expertise when painting the exterior of your home. With industry-leading materials and a proven process, we extend the life of your home, reducing maintenance costs and preserving its value. Now, for a limited time, save $500 when you hire us to paint your home's exterior. Just mention 1010XL. Go to performancepainting.com to schedule a friendly estimate. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
Jacksonville is my hometown, and nobody knows roofing like me. I'm Ronnie, the owner of Brandon Roofing. We handle everything from repairs to full roof replacements, start to finish. We give honest quotes, use quality materials, and clean up like we were never there. We all look at Google reviews, so go ahead and check out ours. We're proud of all our 5-star ratings. I would say we treat you like family, but some people don't like theirs. Go to brandonroofing.com today to schedule your free roof quote.
License number CCC 1328006.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here. You've heard me talking about Pella Windows and Doors. With great ratings and expert reviews, you know they're high quality and energy efficient products. So what's your next step? Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or just stop by the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. Their professional design consultants will guide you through your entire project from start to finish. And that's the quality and service you can expect from Pella Windows and Doors.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Upgrade her diamond ring this summer with no money down and 0 interest for 5 years. Don't miss this killer offer from Beard's Diamonds. 5 years, 0 interest financing till the year 2030. Not just on engagement rings, also on earrings, bracelets, bands, colored gemstone jewelry. Buy now and pay nothing down and spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest. So that $5,000 gift comes out to just $85 a month. Beard's Diamonds is Jacksonville's locally owned source for exquisite jewelry. We can do things the big corporate jewelers can only dream of, like lowering interest rates all the way down to 0. All GIA certified diamonds are included in this. Rounds, princess cuts, ovals, pear shapes, cushion cuts, emerald cuts. Whether you get a $5,000 diamond or a $50,000 diamond, you can spread your payments over 5 whole years. Get the Beard's Diamonds unbeatable price. Pay 0 down and spread your payments over 5 years. But hurry, this is a limited time offer that ends August 31st and will not be extended. Beard's Diamonds, St. John's Town Center. Shop local. Shop Beards. Approved credit, some restrictions apply. See store for details.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Yeah, just looking at the roster, some guys who stood out. I think Jonah Monheim played well. He did have the 1 penalty in the first half. How about the starters? 2 series apiece. Clean game. No penalties. A couple of mistakes come to mind. The drop by Brian Thomas Jr. and absolutely the fumble in the red zone. Can't happen. Hunter Long had a drop a week ago. Highlight grab. I like these backup tight ends. I mean, again, you're going to see a lot of 2 tight end sets with the offensive line, being under the microscope. I think Liam Cohen is going to do everything he can to pass protect for Trevor Lawrence. Now, the downside there, if you go 2 tights, you're taking out a wide receiver. But that's going to be a big part of this. And hopefully when it comes to running the football, those 2 really do play well. I thought Christian Braswell had a good game. He stuck out a little bit for me. Ventrell Miller. He's just a good football player. He is. He makes plays. He's got a nose for the ball. All right, coverage, a little bit of an issue, but you saw him, come up and put a hat on the ball carrier. A fan. I wish I could say something about the defensive tackles, one that really stood out for me. Not the case. 88-60, yada, yada, yada. I think the defense, Mario improved. I like the way they played yesterday. I'm telling you, I really believe Parker Washington is going to have a breakout season. He's going to get a lot of catches, a lot of yards this year. I think Trevor has a really good report. You know what? Travis Hunter is so dynamic. You got a lot of injuries right now in your secondary. Liam Cohen said that injuries would not be a factor on Hunter playing offense or defense. I think he meant that immediately. Obviously, that has to be a fluid situation. If it's week 1 and you cannot play Tyson Campbell and Buster Brown. I would think more defense for Travis Hunter. There isn't a drop-off with Parker Washington. He has been, by far, their most consistent wide receiver. Not by far, but he has been it. And you look at that touchdown, the wiggle, the ability to make people miss and take it in the end zone. Parker Washington. Again, I mean, skill position-wise on offense, man, they are just loaded, this football team is. 33-73. Ballou, when they played a good team like the Steelers, they look bad. When they played the worst team, they look okay. Practice with the Dolphins will tell us a little bit. Yeah, that's fair. Again, you can only go against what has been drawn up as far as the preseason games. Pittsburgh didn't play starters. Primarily, New Orleans didn't play starters. We saw some out there, like Olave. They played. But, yeah, you're right. And I'll tell you what a shame is 33-73 is that you don't get 2 days to practice. I know when I was the team sideline reporter and I went away with them, I remember the year they practiced in New England, and they ended up facing them in the AFC Championship game. All those rumors then. Who was the backup? Was it not Cliff King? Was it Kingsbury? Who was the backup then behind Brady?
What year?
2018. Was it Kingsbury? No. He was coaching Texas Tech.
They had Jimmy Garoppolo.
Jimmy Garoppolo, thank you. That was it. The whole Garoppolo thing. Thank you. Yeah, Kingsbury was coaching Patrick Mahomes then. Okay, and then going to Minneapolis, going to Baltimore. I mean, everywhere you went, you had at least a couple of practices. This is kind of a speeded up one-day session. Yeah. 96, 94. Please explain why Trevor did a 360 spin out of a clean pocket to complete the pass to BT, the Brian Thomas Jr. But what did you guys see in that play? Was he getting pressure? That was kind of like the one exception of the rule. Thought he held in the pocket. I thought it was a very good look for him in the pocket. And, he is left too soon in the pocket, and a lot of that is because the pressure was just, incredible on him. It's a fair point. I don't have an answer. We're going to get an opportunity, I believe, to talk with Trevor on Wednesday. Maybe a good coaching point here because that kind of feels like that was the one time he did slide out of there. I thought he stayed in pressure or in the pocket for the most part. 28-35, Trevor's play is the least of the Jaguars' worries. They have to defend the pass game. Okay, and that's multiple layers, right? The pass game, the secondary, even with certainly with backups, the starting offense only allowed 21 total yards and 1 first down. The starting defense only allowed 9 net yards. They were very good. But that is an intriguing situation because you can have the best secondary in the NFL. If you're not getting a push, you're going to be up against it. And, it feels like the Jaguars are getting a good push from their edge. We know that whole win rate, pass rush win rate that ESPN ranked a year ago. The Jaguars were worst. Okay, that was a representation of getting absolutely nothing from your interior defensive linemen. What else was Jacksonville worst in last year? Well, a lot of things, including this. Blitz rate. They didn't blitz. And, we saw a very vanilla defense that got carved up by Mason Rudolph in Pittsburgh a week ago. What did we see yesterday? Marked improvement against a rookie quarterback. I'll grant you that. But we saw some changes. We saw some blitzes. And that was nice to see. I mean, you had 2 linebackers who had tackles for loss in Aloakon and Miller and Lloyd. And you had the blitz by Dewey with the sack. We saw more movement, with Smoot going inside and the stunt that he did with Trayvon Walker. That was pretty cool to witness. So they added some things. They added some wrinkles defensively, and, it paid off. You don't want to overdo it and show too much. Is this defense, could it be, and Walker's been so strong outside, I still wonder if they will move him inside with Smoot, who's shown that he can play inside, then have Allen on one edge and maybe Ogba on the other edge. I don't know. Maybe there'll be some packages that involve that. I think for the most part, you're going to see Walker still, coming off the edge. Every year we talk about him moving inside, and every year it never seems to happen. But again, for him, this is a third different defensive coordinator in 3 years, which is absolutely bizarre. All right, we got much more to do. Going to take you up until 8 o'clock tonight. Then Hacker Nation will join you right here on your home of the Jags.
Our son Eric's a Division I collegiate baseball pitcher who is having shoulder pain. We took him to Southeast Orthopedic Specialists and are confident that he's now on the road to recovery. This is Beth Anderson, and we love the care Eric receives at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Sports fans, this is David Garrard here. And if you're suffering from orthopedic soreness, make an appointment at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, where everyone is treated like a pro.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. With Lee and Kate's glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Hey, it's Frank Frangie. Look, when it comes to glass needs around the home, there's one name I trust, Lee and Kate's. It's local, family-owned, and they've been part of our community since 1926. They've taken great care of me over the years, and I know they'll do the same for you. Visit LeeandKatesGlass.com.
With Lee and Kate's glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
If you're 35 to 75, you could get life insurance today. No medical exam needed. I'm Cody with Harborstone Financial. One call could protect your family for life. Call me today, 904-885-9566.
Here's what the car insurance companies may think they know after a car crash. They know you probably don't know what your claim is worth, or how to calculate pain and suffering, lost wages and future earnings, current and future medical expenses, or diminished value to your car. But guess what? We do. And if we don't win your case, you owe us nothing. For a fairer fight, you know who to call. Farah and Farah. Jacksonville.
Joe C. for CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. And if your dream is to create that space where you're living large in your backyard, then you need to get with the good people at CSS. They put a gas log in our fireplace, an awesome fire pit out back where the kids can toast s'mores, and we can just hang out and watch the game. It's all part of your outdoor living experience with CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living.
You dream it, we build it. CSS.
What does the logo on the Pittsburgh Steelers helmet signify? The answer next.
When you file a claim with Southern Oak Insurance, we schedule one of our trusted vendors to work directly with you, which means a faster claim resolution. Find out more at southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The logo on the Steelers helmet represents the steel industry. It's the only NFL team with the logo on just one side.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Hey, I'm Tony from Tony D's Pizza. People ask me all day long, is it the water that makes the difference? Well, yes and no. Even water can't make a good pizza. It's the ingredients, too. The best tomatoes, the best flour, and the best cheese. Oh, and a lot of love. Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
Home is where your story begins. And at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to make it the healthiest, most comfortable place it could be. Whether it's fresh, clean air, dependable plumbing, or reliable power, we take care of it all. From routine maintenance to state-of-the-art solutions, Donovan keeps your home running smoothly. Because at Donovan, we believe your home isn't just where you live, it's where your health meets comfort. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing at 904-270-COOL or visit us online. Let's make your home healthier, safer, and better together.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about letting things roll off of your back. So often we can make big deals out of things that are not really big deals. We can allow them to steal the joy of our day. But let me remind you that don't allow anyone or anything to steal the joy of today. Go out today not letting little things steal the big things that God has in store for you.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 87.
Jacksonville enjoyed an off day. They'll be back at it tomorrow morning at the Miller Electric Center. That'll be the case on Wednesday as well. Then they'll fly to Miami, practice with the Dolphins, play on Saturday. They did make a move. I mean, this is James Gladstone's town. Are you kidding me? He moves the guy that they were going to cut, Luke Fortner. And you bring in Colin Saunders, just turned 29, 68 games played, 32 starts, 6 playoff games, including a couple of Super Bowls with Kansas City, 6 foot, 324. He will meet with us tomorrow. We're going to get an opportunity to get something from. You can really write anything about Colin Saunders, and it would be believable. He becomes a guy that takes some snaps until Armstead and Mason Smith are healthy. He could be a guy that is a big part of this plan. Maybe they're not seeing the consistency out of Tyler Lacy or Jordan Jefferson. We don't know. And that's what makes this, really fascinating. But congratulations to James Gladstone for making the move. The other big story today, who goes after a quarterback? Well, Jeffrey Simmons does in Nashville. Are you kidding me? A rookie? Cam Ward is irritating his teammates like this already. He threw a touchdown pass to Calvin Ridley, then got in the face of Jeffrey Simmons, who responded. I mean, you don't touch a quarterback. But it just feels like, man, this AFC South is all messed up. And that certainly does include the very latest, that outstanding news today coming out of Nashville.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
I mean, you can say and do anything. It doesn't warrant going after your quarterback.
Yeah, particularly the number one pick in the draft, who you want to be your franchise guy for the next decade.
Yeah.
It's not a good look. Not a good look.
Regardless of the score, it feels like a totally different Monday compared to 7 days.
Yeah, I mean, look, preseason football is what it is. This game will be easily forgotten in a couple of days. But one thing that I'll remember, at least right now, is the Jaguars dominated in the game, the part of the game that mattered. All right. No offense to the third and fourth quarter of a preseason game, but it is what it is. When the starters or the second string were in there for both teams, the Jaguars won the game by 2 touchdowns. Mm-hmm. Colin Saunders is interesting. He of the viral interception off of Patrick Mahomes last year. Right. What did Joe Buck say? Big Colin rumbling for 37 yards. Right. We're actually going to go out to New Orleans on Hacker After Dark. My guy Fletcher Mackel is a sports director of the NBC TV affiliate out there to just learn about not only Colin Saunders, but also how Luke Fortner may fit into the plans of the Saints, who have been decimated by injury in the interior offensive line. And I'm happy for Luke Fortner. Maybe because he told me he listened to Hacker After Dark a lot, so I had a little soft spot for Luke Fortner. But the fact that he was probably going to get cut here, he goes to New Orleans now and is likely to make their 53-man roster.
Yeah, he's a very likable young man, and hopefully he gets to extend his career and get another year of service, get him closer to the NFL pension, and who knows, maybe he contributes to this football team. All right, what do you got coming up tonight?
Yeah, so not only the New Orleans Fletcher Mackel to talk about Colin Saunders, we'll have the head coach Dave Campo to react to the game, and John Shipley of the Jaguars on SI. So pretty much all Jaguars this evening. Is hard to believe 1 week from tomorrow, the Jaguars and the rest of the NFL have to go from 90 to 53. The Turk is looming in the next week or so for all these NFL clubs.
You know, I think the addition of Saunders may change that. I had the waiver wire set at 1.5. I'd go under. I think they may add one player. How about you, waiver wire?
Yeah, I think they'll look around. I don't know how many they're going to add. I think you got some tough cuts towards the back end of the roster. I heard you talking as I came in about the defensive tackle room now that Saunders is here. They didn't draft Jordan Jefferson. And what this regime has proven pretty quickly, whether it's Keelan Robinson, whether it's Luke Fortner, whether it's all these 3rd and 4th and 5th round picks, that if they didn't draft you, there's not a lot of loyalty there. And the way Austin Jackson is playing, now you bring in Saunders. I just wonder if Jordan Jefferson has done enough. That's my line of thinking coming into this evening.
All right. Enjoy it. Have a lot of fun tonight in your show.
Thanks, Rick.
All right. See you tomorrow over at the Miller Electric Center. Yeah, I'll be there in the morning. Already pretty excited about it. Again, we're going to get an opportunity to meet the newly acquired Colin Saunders. So that'll be tomorrow. Also, I'm going to catch up with Cam Little. Been traditionally pretty interesting over the years interviewing kickers, right? I remember I did a Morton Anderson interview. I think I asked him 25 questions, and the interview lasted about 2.5 minutes. So Cam Little is different. He likes to talk, and man, does he have a leg. What a weapon here in Duval. So that's coming up. Also, tomorrow we're going to hear from Josh Hines-Allen and head coach Liam Cohen. Thank you to Ryan O'Halloran, columnist of the Florida Times-Union. Thank you to Dylan Denmark. I'm Rick Ballou. Have a great night. We'll talk tomorrow at 6.